We're good. All right, you're live. All right, so hey, let me flip this thing around. My name is Mike, and this is my buddy Rafi.
Hi.
Rafi is the provider at Executive Clock Gallery here in Montrose, in Los Angeles, where I live. And so I just wanted to talk about these three clocks that I recently purchased off of eBay. I got this clock for $500. I got this clock for $400. And I got this clock for $125.
And these are all Seth clocks that are with the 113A movements in there,
Right.
and they are Westminster. And one of them has already been overhauled, and we're going to go into that in a little bit. But these two haven't been overhauled yet.
Right. So when you're buying things off of eBay, and the people aren't willing to give you any history on any maintenance that's been done to the clock, and they're just like, it's going to need, everybody that sells a clock on eBay, they say, oh, it's going to need adjustments. Well, adjustments could very well means you need to go spend $450 on an overhaul cleaning because they have no history on it ever being lubricated. It's just sitting in somebody's room for 10 years and they don't even use it to keep time. They don't, hopefully they don't use it to keep time, because if they are using it and they haven't been oiling it, they're just grinding. Everything's grinding together on it, and it's creating a lot of wear. But anyway, there's a lot of ups and downs of buying a clock on eBay, unless they're going to give you some sort of
Right. And I get people asking me all the time, how much is it going to... I have this certain clock, and they ask me on Yelp, or they ask me over the phone, or they come and say, I have this clock I got from a garage sale, or I got from eBay. How much is it going to cost to get fixed? I said, I don't know, but you're looking at several $100s, probably around $350, $375, up to $450. The reason why is because the pivots could be worn out. It could need a number of bushings. Like this one needed 9 bushings. It needed a chime barrel, and it's notorious for having chime barrel issues with teeth. So anyways, I can't tell you upfront how much it will cost, but I'll tell you in the ballpark of $375 to $450 is an ideal range. The reason why is because there's a lot of work involved in tearing it apart, and I won't do anything less.
Right.
It's like a can of worms. So it may run fine, but it could have a number of issues with it.
So all three of these clocks, when I got them, so this one was $125. Runs.
To your door.
Keeps time. It's bonging. It's doing everything it's supposed to. This one was actually running. Just the minute hand was flopping around. And this one's running just great. We haven't even looked at it yet. We haven't torn it apart to look at it to see if there's a problem, because now I had every confidence in this clock actually being perfectly fine until I brought it here and we took it apart. We took the movement out. We started inspecting it, and there's all kinds of wear and tear on the chime barrel. Is notorious on this particular clock for eating up the teeth on that chime barrel, and if it ever loses those teeth and releases all of that stored up energy in that spring, it'll just tear the inside of this clock up.
Yeah, the first gear will just start to break a pivot and break gears, and
so we got really lucky that I brought it in. The first thing I did, I brought it in, and Rafi says, look here, look at this, look at that. It
Mike, sounded like it was running fine, but not only was the minute hand flopping around, I said, let's take a look at this. So the movement has to come out. I have to take the power out of the barrel and just visually inspect it, but not comprehensively inspect it. And I noticed that it needed bushings, and afterwards I found out it needed 9 bushings after my initial cleaning. And not only that, I looked at the chime barrel, and the teeth were very brittle and they were worn. And so you were asking for a problem. It was dangerous. You could break a tooth and start breaking your chime train.
The good news is I bought it for $500. I spent $450 on an overhaul.
Right.
Turns out, though, that I needed a chime barrel replaced. Another $110 plus shipping was like $130.
Yeah, I was like that.
So I'm at $500 plus $450 and $130, $580.
Almost $1,000. But
I'm over $1,000. I'm $1,080.
Right, and this clock back in 2005 was worth close to $1,100, $1,300. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
so there's this great book,
Seth Thomas.
great reference book. This guy, Trandoy.
Right. So
He's
this
like
is the clock we're looking at right
that's
now.
the clock, right?
This is the 73.
In 1921, people were paying $130 for this clock, which was a month's pay back then, because it had that special. It's got a special gold-plated face. If it was just the normal silver-plated face, they would have spent $110 back in 1921. In 2005, 423. In 2005, the gentleman valued this clock at $1,100. So I'm at I'm at $1,080 on this clock. So I'm right where I need to be. But if you look at,
But this clock won't need another overhaul until the next 5 years, and we guarantee our work for a year. So
if we put a value of $1,100 in
what is that, inflation?
no, that was 2005. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, it calculates inflation.
Right.
That means this clock is actually worth $1,448.
Right.
So I'm okay. I didn't lose money at this, and I have a freshly overhauled clock, so I'm great. I'm good on that. I'm probably going to be, we don't know what's going to end up being wrong with this one, but it's going to be at least the $450 overhauling for this.
But these are not your typical clocks. These are highly desired. These are not easy to get a hold of.
These are really rare now. They're getting very rare.
Gold.
This one you can get pretty readily. I actually got 2 of these for $125 shipped to my front door. This you're never going to see this. I think this is, how many of these have you ever seen of that particular clock? Have you ever seen?
I haven't. I've only seen maybe 2 examples of these, and
2 of those.
I've seen a bunch of timburers.
Yeah, the 113 movement is pretty common, but these particular.
These ones are more desired and harder to get a hold of.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what it's just things to be careful about. Know what you're doing when you're buying a clock from somebody on eBay. A lot of those people actually know more about it than you do.
And ask a bunch of questions. Ask a pro. Ask me at Executive Clock Gallery before you buy it. That way I can let you know what you're headed into, what direction, and approximately how much you're going to end up spending for it. Because you might just buy a clock and it might just stop working. And there's no guarantee on it. You don't know what condition, who serviced it, when it's been serviced. So even though it may sound a little cheap, like $300 or $150, but you might end up spending more money onto it. But again, in the end, you want to ask a lot of questions before you buy it.
The effort, by the way, the $450 sounds expensive. It's not, because he goes inside here, he takes the movement out of the clock. He gives it a basic inspection while it's all still in one piece. But then an overhauling, he tears it completely apart, tears every little piece of it apart, puts it in this ultrasonic bath to clean all the grit, grime, and junk off of it, get it down to bare metal again. And then he reassembles it to look for wear, and then tears it apart again to fix where the bushings need to be replaced and things like that.
You can't see where you can't see all the wear in the clock until you clean it, and then in order to clean it, you have to take it all apart, and then you got to put it together and see where the wear is, and then you got to take it apart and put bushings into it in order to
polish all the.
Get to the.
He's replacing the bushings. He's polishing the pivots. He's inspecting all the springs. That was the other thing too. This one had a broken. One of the other things it was about to give out was also the chime spring inside of the barrel. You had to tear the barrel. I mean, the barrel had bad teeth, but then you take the spring out of the inside of it, and hardly anybody even looks inside there.
The whole end of it had a crack, and it was just about to rip off the main spring. And if that happens, then
again, it's the same thing. Just like losing teeth on the barrel, it loses all that power. Just goes boing inside of your clock and tears a bunch of stuff up, bends all the pivots. It just tears a lot of stuff up. So we caught two really big issues that were about to fail on that clock, and $450, but and actually and then another $130 on the part that we had to replace, and I feel lucky. I feel lucky that we looked at it.
Well, now we have years and years of service ahead of us, and you're confident that your clock's not going to fail on you, because I took it all apart, took pictures of it, everything was done completely, so that way.
What you say, another 5 years before it really needs to do anything?
Until another.
It needs an oiling, doesn't it? Like every 3 years.
Another oiling, about 2 to 3 years. You should get it oiled per manufacturer recommendations.
Right. So when I bring it back here 3 years from now, and you need an oiling, would you say it was like it's under $100?
Yeah, I can get the oiling done in a few days. It's under $100. You can't, like, about $75.
So he's gonna pull
Movement has to come out.
he's gonna pull the movement out again. He's gonna do it.
No WD-40. It's no Mobile One. It's what we do is we use synthetic grease for certain friction causing levers and so forth, and also medium oil for the for your barrel, and also synthetic oil for most of the.
Anyway, so. I'm just, this is my nice collection here, and I'm just really happy about it, and I thought I'd share it with you guys.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you. How do I turn this off?
Here.
Just hit the X?
I don't know.